Welcome to the Epic Success Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Shannon Irvin. And today we're going to be breaking down how does your brain allow results and how is your brain stopping you and what can you do about it? All right, let's dive in. On the podcast, on the Epic Success Podcast, we break down the brain science of success. How do you actually achieve the things you want to do? How do you up level your mindset? Not through willpower or trying harder, because if that worked, you'd already be exactly where you wanted to be. This is about truly flipping your brain success switch on, allowing you to accomplish a year's worth of goals in like 67 days because you no longer have the brake pressed. Now, here's the thing. I use the metaphor on the drive, the strategy, all the things that you're working toward as the foot on the gas. I know if you're listening to me, I don't have to tell you to put your foot on the gas. You have a to-do list a mile long. You're doing everything that you know to do. You've bought a lot of strategies and your foot's on the gas. However, there's a scenario where your foot is on the brake at the same time. You didn't create it. It's not your fault, but it is firmly pressed on the brake pedal. So tell me what happens when your foot is on the gas and your foot is on the brake at the same time. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much you want it, no matter if you have all the steps, if the brake is pressed at the same time, you will go in circles, you will feel stuck, and you will burn out. Feel familiar? Boy, it does to me, because I can tell you when we got started online, I was finishing up my PhD and I had this hypothesis of what I was learning in the scientific neuropsychology rooms. See, the science world loves to learn, but doesn't learn to solve. And I had an entrepreneur glass ceiling above me, a number that we could not get past no matter how hard I tried. And I bought all the strategies, all the tactics. You probably heard me tell this story before where I drained my bank account, $50,000, worked with a mentor just to find out that everything, tactically speaking, that she was doing, I was already doing. So what was the big difference? How she automatically thought about business, worth, enoughness, money, ability, capacity. She thought completely different, not by trying to think different, but she literally automatically thought different. And that began the obsession for me, because here's what I was thinking at the time, and I hope you're thinking right now, and that is, you know what? If she can do it, I can do it. If the only difference between me and her, or you and me now, is the fact that I've trained my brain to allow the success and I've removed those limiting patterns, those brake pedal beliefs that have gotten in the way. I always say I'm not a special unicorn. I was just somebody so desperate to solve why I wasn't getting where I wanted to go that I was willing to get a PhD to figure it out. And so being a God girl and being a girl who went and studied the science behind transformation, the science behind results and achievement, one key thing I discovered that was already in scripture, but I guess I needed to learn it in a different way for it to really land for me. And that is, your brain is the operating system of every result you have. So if you have a brain that is wired in a way that it won't allow you to get to where you want, it doesn't matter how much strategy you lay on top of that. Step by step, any strategy is not going to get you to the finish line. It's releasing that brake that gets you to the finish line. And here's what I want to say today. In an age where we have everything at our fingertips and it feels like we should have results overnight, and there are plenty of marketing gurus telling us that in 5 minutes we can have a 7-figure business, can I normalize that is wrong? And that is adding to the issue right now of us feeling more of a failure than our ancestors would have been even 50 years ago, because they would have understood it was a process because things weren't going at lightning speed. Here's the thing. Your brain can be wired to achieve in like a 67-day window. So that is quick. And when you take the foot off the brake, tell me this, how much faster do you think you'll get to the results? It's like lightning speed, right? However, you've got to slow down to speed up. And I did a story and I asked people, how important is it for you to up level your mindset? And so like almost 100% said super important. And then the next slide was so telling. I said, okay, so tell me what you invest currently in up leveling your mindset. And other than my one good friend, Kayla, who of course she was going to say, 15K plus, I need a mentor. It's everything. Everyone else said 0 to like $100 a book. That's about it. Oh, what? Like crazy cuckoo pants. Like the only thing standing between you and the results that you want. And remember, it's not your fault. You didn't create it, but these automations that are running from your childhood, from young adulthood, when your prefrontal cortex wasn't fully developed, that part of your brain that can call BS on stories and patterns, that part of you wasn't fully developed until 24. So the patterns about money, worth, enoughness, safety, ability, capacity, and what money means and doesn't mean, and all of those things are already automated in your subconscious, and they're running 90% of your decisions, my decisions, everyone's decisions. And we all know from decisions come actions, and actions create the results. We can't fake actions to get a result if the thinking does not support it. And so I'm going to challenge you to make, as we're kind of heading into the end of 2024 and starting 2025, please, please, please don't do it the same way you've always done it. Please learn how to unleash your mind, how to wire yourself to win, how to wire yourself for wealth, how to wire your mind to allow results. Now, in this podcast, we will have in the show notes, we're going to have a link to a wait list for our upcoming 67-day year challenge, where we're going to teach you these processes. It's a paid challenge. It is a challenge that's going to take your 2025 to the next level. And here's the thing. You don't want to do the same thing you've always done expecting a different result, right? Let's start the new year in a way that you create a year's worth of goals in 67 days. And even more important than that, you unleash your mind to win again and again and again. Because let's just really peel back the covers here. Your brain is how you make more money. Your brain is how you relate and have relationships. Your brain is literally controlling your destiny. And if something is controlling your destiny, learning to master it in a way that it aligns with what you want and stops and removes the things that you don't, there's nothing more important. Now, we deep dive into a process called the 67-day year method, which allows you to set goals in a way that your brain will actually allow you to achieve them and stopping you. All of that we're going to be doing together live. So I'm so excited about that. So get on that wait list for that. There'll be limited seats. I'm doing this workshop style. So I really want you there, setting 2025 in a way that will just create a year's worth of goals in a quarter of the time so that you can get on with the dream that you have behind your sweet eyes. All right. So how are we going to dive into not pretending anymore, not just trying to outwork, out hustle, and willpower these patterns that you and I both know when we put our head on the pillow at night, they're haunting us. They were haunting me. That feeling of maybe I'm not enough. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe no one will listen to me. Maybe this is just silly. Maybe all this dream, maybe I should get serious and just get a, one of those 3-letter words, JOB. Sorry, entrepreneurs, you get me. But here's the thing. You were like your creator, whether you believe the way I believe or not, doesn't matter. You were created with a brain that was supposed to be wired toward your calling, so that everything, 90% of every decision, action, and results create your destiny. It was hijacked. Not your fault. You didn't create it, but it's time to take authority over it and have and learn the skills to become unleashed, to wire yourself to win, and to flip your brain success switch on once and for good. All right. That's what I have for you today. Let's make 2025 the best year ever, not because we're trying to do it the same way we've always done it, with just work harder, but you're going to do it in a way that your brain creates it with you, for you. And that's the science behind manifestation, my friend. So I will see you if you get a seat. I hope you get a seat, because like I said, we are going to limit the seats because I'm going to be personally running this workshop. Let's get 2025 to the finish line before Q1. All right. That's what I have for you this week on the Epic Success Podcast. Until then, waitlist is down below, and I cannot wait to do this with you. Bye for now.